Look around. Zoom in and out. Move the camera. Speed up the camera's movement. Refocus on the selected ship. Open the command wheel. Give the ship a move order. It will move to the targeted point in the sea. Give the ship a turn command. It will keep going in the ordered direction until otherwise commanded. While the ship is moving, you can also steer it. To adjust the ship's speed, use the throttle. You have completed basic maneuver training. Click Continue when you are ready. Zoom in on the minimap. You may give orders to ships on the minimap by using the command wheel. Order your ship to move to the highlighted point. You can also speed up time. Let the ship move to the highlighted point. Select a gun. The minimap shows the gun's firing arc. There is a hostile ship nearby.
Awaiting orders.
Move the camera close to it. With a gun selected, fire on the hostile ship. Direct hit. Open the command wheel to select all gun turrets. All guns that can fire at the target point will fire. Select the torpedoes. Change the torpedo spread. This can narrow and widen the firing arc, and change the number of torpedoes used. Launch torpedoes at the hostile ship. Sink the hostile ship. You have sunk the target. The tutorials include a full list of videos covering topics such as different weapon and ammunition types, launching planes, and special orders. You have completed basic combat training. Click Continue when you are ready. Move around the Atlantic campaign map. Zoom in and out. Select ASW Patrol 2. Open the command wheel and start a patrol. To add an extra point to the patrol route, open the command wheel at another point in the ocean and hold the Q orders key. With automatic resupply enabled, the fleet can interrupt its patrol when it wishes to replenish its ammunition. Enemy fleet spotted. Attack the enemy submersible. If your target is the last known position of an enemy fleet, your fleet will head towards the last known position. You can speed up time as the fleet closes the distance. Close on the target.
We have encountered the enemy.
This is the Start Combat screen. You currently have 2 squadrons. Click and drag one ship out of the squadron list. Drag. This squadron is in a column formation, meaning they will move in single file. Change the formation to a line formation. The fleet will then move into the new formation. Hold the rotate button to change the facing of the squadron. The last known position of the enemy is shown here. When you are ready, you can click here to start the battle. Once a submerged enemy has been detected, its last known position will be shown on the minimap. Open the command wheel and order the corvettes to attack the target.
Fire at will!
You can speed up time as the corvettes close the distance. Close on the target.
All hands, man battle stations. Sonar reports distant contact. Sonar reports distant contact.
Reduce speed to spot the sub, as loud engines can affect submarine hunting. In the yellow speed band, sonar has a pen. Faster classes of ship have a red speed band. At these speeds, engines are so noisy that sonar is not usable. Select a corvette. Zoom all the way in on the mini-map. Select the ship's depth charges. They're firing. This submarine is trying to evade you by The firing arcs for depth charges and hedgehogs are shown on the minimap. Once the target is inside the firing arc, click on the ocean to launch depth charges.
Sonar reports distant contact. Sonar reports distant contact. Sonar reports distant contact. Sonar reports distant contact. Fire at will! Sonar reports distant contact. 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 Sonar reports distant contact.
Continue attacking with both corvettes until the submarine is destroyed.
Sonar reports distant contact. 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 Awaiting orders. Sonar reports distant contact. 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 Breaking formation. Sonar reports distant contact. 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 Fire at will.
You have completed basic anti-submersible warfare training. Return to the campaign map when ready. Here is the information critical to the war effort, showing your current supplies, food, and recruits. Recruits are used to crew newly constructed ships and aircraft. This counter shows when more resources will be produced. Click on the objectives icon. You will see the current objectives that need to be completed. Once the first phase of objectives are completed, new objectives will appear. Clicking on an objective will trigger a tutorial if appropriate. Click on the Build a Factory objective. On the Industry panel, click on the Factory Build button. Click a slot to start constructing a factory. On the Industry panel, click on the Farm Build button. Place the farm in a location of your choice. Click on the shipyard's icon. Select a shipyard. Open the shipyard window. Click on a ship class to see its details, including its cost and time to commission. If you can afford the ship, click Commission. You can queue up multiple ships to be commissioned. Higher-level shipyards are able to commission multiple ships simultaneously. Close the shipyard panel. On the Industry panel, click on the Laboratory Build button. Place the laboratory in a location of your choice. On the Industry panel, click on the Intelligence Station Build. Place the Intelligence Station in a location of your choice. Select Force 2. Order Force 2 to merge with Force 1. Allow the two fleets to merge. Click the Combined Fleets Rename button. Choose a name for this fleet. Protect Atlantic trade routes from enemy U-boats. Transport supplies across the Atlantic in preparation for our eventual push. Transport food across the Atlantic to feed our growing armed forces. Transport enlisted crew and troops across the. Expand the Allied fleets. Construct enough aircraft to claim air superiority. The future of this war now depends on you. It is your responsibility to build up our naval strength, send forth fleets to defend the British Isles, and lay down the foundations for an Allied victory on the Western Front. Enemy fleet spotted. Enemy fleet spotted. We have encountered the enemy.
Visibility moderate, the weather is poor, and the seas are rough. Enemy sighted. Fire at will. Breaking formation. Breaking formation. Fire at formation. Fire at will. Fire at formation. Sonar reports distant contact. 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 Periscope.